Hey guys, welcome to episode 23, episode 1. Okay, here's why. As I started to develop this, I realized there's something I can do to help our school teachers. I can develop a series of these that is aimed at the how to draw, and this can be used in classrooms. I've got some friends that are school teachers, some that I've been fortunate enough to go out and read to their classes, and I'm inspired beyond words by what school teachers do. So, since I don't have time to go to all the schools like I'd like to, you can bring it into your classroom through YouTube. So, I'm going to do these subset of how to draw, and I'll do different things. This one's going to be about eyes. Okay, here we go with the fun of drawing. First, I want to point out I am not this fast at writing and drawing. I have digitally altered this at twice the speed. So, you have to don't think that I'm some type of great artist that can just draw this fast. No, this is all a computer taking over. Second, everybody always asks me, what app are you using? This app is Comic Draw. I am just ecstatic with it. The more I'm learning about it, the more I like it. It allows for a lot of customization of your pens, as you can see here. I also have had the advantage of talking to the developers, and they are so nice and extremely helpful. Um, and then I also remembered I downloaded the iBook for Comic Draw, which is another wonderful tool that goes through and not only tells you how to use the app, but if you're reading it well, it kind of even lays out how you create a comic book, or really any book for that matter, because they're all kind of similar. Um, anyway, I've found that as I'm working with the stylus here, that if I use a light pressure, I kind of get this dotted line that I don't like. I do have to press a little bit harder with my Apple Pencil to get the look that I'm looking for on this. But your line weight is really nice. This is the first face that we're working on here, and a little bit later in the video I get clever. I use more of the tools that they have here that allow you to copy and paste so that I can do the faces a lot quicker. This is the simple, just normal, like if you're walking around town and just looking in window shopping, looking at toys at Toys R Us, just two little dots. It's a very basic style. Again, this is something I like because it kind of harkens back to that Calvin and Hobbes look. Uh, and I like to point out here because if you look at this, it almost looks like I'm using a pencil or something. You get this really lightweight, sketchy look on the ink if you just press down real lightly in your drawing. That is something you really have to think about as an artist, is how much pressure you're putting on the device. And it doesn't matter if it's a number 2 pencil, a crayon, or your stylus and you're doing it with a digital. Your pressure that you place on it has a lot to do with what kind of line that you get and how your art is ultimately going to look. I promise you your video is still working. For some reason I paused in the middle of drawing here, and I had to decide what set of eyes I was doing. And then I realized I wanted to do a surprise look, and I went through and I kind of adjusted the bill of his helmet, because that allows cartooning. You can do that. You can't do that in real life. Your helmet's not going to change with you. Or it's actually a hat, it's not a helmet, but the hat can change and be surprised with his eyes. Again, you do the two little dots, and then around the eyes, you sit there and you just go big. It's just a nice way to make the, there I got the worried look. Now, here's where I finally got smart. I'm like, okay, what we're going to do here is we're going to lay out the basic face. And this is where your digital art takes a huge advantage over drawing on paper. I would have normally had to drawn this face. I think I do another 6 different set of eyes. I would have had to draw the face 6 times. Here, I go around, I select it, I resize it a little bit to the size I want to work on, and now I don't know what I'm doing. All right, this is trial and error. You have to be willing to experiment with your tools and find out what you're doing. I'm looking for, how do I copy and paste? How do I copy and paste? And I can't find it, and I got no idea what to do. So I go over here and I look at the stuff and I keep sampling. I'm looking for it. Nope, nope, not there. And then I get smart and I just double tap the image. And it didn't do it. So I'm not as smart as I thought. But there I start to figure it out. So single tap when I had it, and I'm able to copy, paste, copy, paste. Now I've got 4 of the same faces, we can zoom back in on one of them and start doing another set of eyes. Again, I'm going to start with the kind of basic. I made one eye just a little bit bigger than the other, one a little bit smaller. So it looked very much like you're worried or surprised, but just by changing the brow line, changes the entire expression. And now this guy, he's not so happy with us anymore. He's gone from being worried to being like, man, you made me eat broccoli? Ugh, I hate broccoli. So here we have our mad eyes. Somewhere there's a parent going, oh, thanks for taking the kid away from broccoli even further. Sorry. I actually eat my broccoli. Just throwing it out there to any moms that are mad at me. I eat my broccoli. All right, so our next set of eyes here. I love this one. I did not like my eye placement. I kept working with it, though. I had a great art teacher, Mr. Spangler, who said, there's never really a mistake in art. Find a way to work with it. So I kept drawing it, kept working with it, and still didn't like the eye. So raised that eye and just moved it over. I felt like it worked a little better. Should have probably readjusted the other eye just a hair too. To me, this one came off as being our mystery guy. Kind of your snake eyes or whatever. Or it could be your just full out villain. I like the mystery guy a little bit better. All right. So now we're moved on to the third head here, and again, you're just working with these lines. This was hard. I have the hardest time making cute or pretty eyes for girls. I'm doing air quotes. You can't see that at this point, but anyway, the cute eyes, trying to make that innocent big eyes with lashes on it, is a challenge for me. You're not going to draw everything wonderfully. What you have to do is look at what you like. Some artists will tell you that you need to look at something that you don't like because that way it makes you feel better and like you can do better. I want to be challenged. I want to look at the artist that I think is fantastic and try to get better to that. So here are my alluring eyes. I don't know how well I did on it. I'll keep practicing. Y'all keep practicing watching my videos. I'll keep practicing. I'll put up more videos with hopefully better alluring eyes. So hopefully I'm done with that one. Actually, I'm going to write it out just so that you know that these are really hard for me to do. This next one, I don't remember. We will have to find out together as the drawing starts happening what I was working on. And references everywhere. Get a mirror. Look at yourself. Make faces at yourself. That is some of the best ways to learn how these expressions work. What happens to your eyes? These things, your brow wrinkles, the bags under your eyes when you're sleepy. All these things are just wonderful ways of capturing yourself. Let's see. Now I'm going to take this head, I'm going to copy it again another 2 times. Now this would be really boring because then it would just be the same, but I can go in there and snatch that eraser and I can get rid of those lines real quick. And that will allow me to come back in and do 2 more sets of eyes. Alright, this is one I really enjoy doing. This is my sleepy eyes. This is the face that every teacher gets to see. This is after lunch, you ate too much, you went outside and played, and then you got to come back in and they're trying to teach you something. They look out there, every one of y'all look like this. This might be a great time to do art class. And then you can always throw up your little word balloons. If you don't feel like your thing's quite conveying what you want, throw in a little Z there. And everybody knows that means that guy is sleepy. Now we'll move on and go to the last face here. I'm going to reposition the paper a little bit. Take a look around here, and you'll see I went back up here. Just add a little more weight to the eyes. It makes them pop a little bit more. Makes them stand out. Also, I like the little lines, little things like that little Z. I think just really add stuff to your drawing. Um, it's not always the big things. Again, you could take one of the guys that's angry looking and you draw little wavy lines above his head to represent that he's hot or mad, and it just adds a lot more to your drawing. This one I started with like 2 eggs there and then put the little dots on it, put little bags underneath the eyes there. Just again, they're just simple little extra lines. But these little things do a lot to just really take your drawing and make it look a little more complete. Putting the little drops of sweat on there also helps to make the, oh my gosh, what's going on? That's a monster behind me? Look, I can definitely picture this particular character. Something just came up behind him and he's sweating it. He does not really want to look behind him. And you'll see my little note there between worried and surprised. They look a lot alike. All right, so here you're getting to see each one of them. I'm zooming in a little bit so you can see the final. And I'm letting you know the next episode will be on light and shadows. I've always been told that this is a higher end thing, but it's a lot of fun. So stop on by for episode 2. All right, guys, that was episode 23 / episode 1, Eyes. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, if you would, chink, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check me out on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and somebody just told me today I need a Snapchat, so I guess I'll start one of those too. As always, I am Frank Porter, and this is To Be Continued.